Shalom. Call Haluyam La Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rachak Kodash. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Rachak Kodash Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rachak Kodash. Shalom and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elder bishops and the elders and the Akim and Akwathium of the hopeful elect. Shalom. Just wanted to go into a quick video here entitled um, The Day of Eve's Punishment is at Hand. There's really nothing else to talk about, End time prophecies is right here, smack dab in our face, right? So, all we can do is see and process. That's the only thing to talk about, is the judgments to come because we've been prophesying it and now it's unfolding. It's the Most High is, as they say, right, getting active. The Most High he's getting active with these prophecies, and clearly see that the Most High is done with that covering that he had over the so-called white man, you know, and then it's time for him now to get judged because he used to be untouchable because it was his time to reign, and that reminds me of here the protection the Most High put over Cain because Cain is the grandfather, forefather of the so-called white race. Let's see, because Esau he cried, right? Cain he cried. That's the same spirit that's in the so-called white people today. They do their dirt, and then when you call them out, you know, then they cry and hoot and holler that that they make that the crime, not their crime, but the crime is calling it out, and they bellyache and act like they're such victims, right? Same thing with those little small hats, always saying anti, Um, I won't say it, because they well, I won't even go into it. I'll just continue on here. But let's see. So, right here, verse 13. And Cain said to the Lord Yahweh, my punishment is greater than I can bear. You see, he don't mind punishing other people. He's merciless on everyone else. But as soon as it's time for him to receive a proper recompense, that just balance, then he want to cry about his punishment. He's a filthy hypocrite. So right here, so verse 14. Let's see. Verse 14, behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me shall slay me. And that was the curse. The most I put one part of the curse. The first curse is that the being stripped of his melanin. That way you will know who the killer and the murderer is in the earth, the wicked one in the earth. And so a fugitive and a vagabond, a fugitive is one that escapes judgment, like he's always on the run. And he's the colonizer of the earth. He always running around and changing his identity over the years, right? And a vagabond, because a vagabond is someone that doesn't have that's not in their home, that's everywhere else, but in their original borders. He keepeth not at home, you know. Let's see, in verse 15. So he was crying unto the heavenly Father in his hypocrisy, right, about his judgment, his righteous just judgment that the Lord put a place upon him, and then he want to cry about it. So verse 15. And the Lord Yahweh said unto him, therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. So if someone harm Cain, then what's going to happen to that person? Fury and judgment going to come upon him 7 times more, far worse than what he did to him. So that's the covering the Most High put upon Cain and his seed until Esau, until that's that wicked bloodline, until to the white race. Because what happens? You can't, if you touch a so-called white man or white girl, that's death, especially in the older days, right? A so-called white girl could just lie, like Emmett Till, right? A so-called white girl lied and said he had whistled at her or something or flirted with her, and then they ended up snatching him out of his house in the middle of the night and brutally murdering him, right? So just a word, sevenfold times come upon, upon anyone, even from a lie, right? So how much more, if you touch and harm them, And then like 9/11, right? What happened when that happened? They wanted the vengeance of the entire earth. They wanted the blood throughout of the whole earth, pretty much. And George Bush told the United Nations that told him to not go into Afghanistan. George Bush told the United Nations, if you're not with me, you're against me. And that's that wrath, that sevenfold wrath that come upon men if anyone touch or do anything to the so-called white people. White people, right? So now we know that he hasn't been able to be touched for a long for a season, right? And so now we see Iran kicking America behind in this war here, right? And and America's looking pretty pathetic. Iran, they just abandoned their peace talk meetings before, because they was meeting at a place in Iran, was waiting on the U.S. to arrive, and he left. They left before the U.S. arrived. That's another slap in the face. So America's being embarrassed and slapped around and embarrassed left and right now. That's because their judgment is now upon them. So Psalm 75 and verse 4. I said unto the fools, deal not foolishly, and to the wicked lift not up the horn. So we know the wicked, the so-called white race, they lifted up the horn and profanity and blasphemy, set set themselves on top of the congregation of the Israelites, and set himself as the Most High power, right? And he want everyone to think that he's the God, when he's just a fraud and the lowest level vessel on earth. And so verse 5, lift not up your horn on high, speak not with a stiff neck. And we know that Esau has the most proud, stiff neck of any man. Beginning with that, beginning with that fool Trump, right? He deal foolishly. He speaks foolishly. He speak these great things as prophesied. They speak great things, meaning what? Speaking great things meaning speaking extremely proudly, and that's what. And Trump is the complete embodiment of that. And the citizens are just the same exact way. The MAGers, right? Make America great. Slack it. Make America great again. Demons. They don't look at the scriptures. They follow men, the precepts of men, right? And that's how they rally. They don't rally around the scriptures. They rally around men and their wicked philosophies and precepts. Their precepts of men. Verse 6. For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. And that promotion goes into being set up. Only the Heavenly Father. To get this word promotion is Rahum. Rayum or Ra'um. In the Hebrew, to rise up, be high, be lofty, be exalted. You see, it's the Heavenly Father. To be high, to be set on high. So only the Heavenly Father sets up these nations and he tears them down. The powers of the Heavenly Father. So the so-called white man being on top is not through his own strength, but it's from the Heavenly Father, setting up these nations and tearing them down as he see fit, according to the prophecy, leading up to the kingdom of heaven for eternity. So verse 6, for promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But verse 7, but Yahweh is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. It's the Most High that does it, right? But Esau, let him tell it. He's like like in the spirit of Nebuchadnezzar of ancient Babylon, the Neo-Babylonian empire of the past, when Nebuchadnezzar, said that he got that kingdom and that palace and all the greatness of that kingdom by the power of his own hand, and the Most High judged him and made him turn him into an animal for 7 years, a literal beast in the field for 7 years. So now we'll go to Jeremiah. Let's see, Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 23. How was the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? So the Most High is going to bend that iron, that proud iron, that pride of that iron pride that they have, right? Extremely hard, stiff neck and pride that the so-called white race has. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? So the Most High is going to bend that neck of that pride, right, and break it, because they're the hammer of the earth. Because they do what? Drop bombs, and that military intimidates all the other nations and keep them in and bully them and keep them oppressed. Psalm 75 and verse let's see, 8. For in the hand of the Lord Yahweh there is a cup, and the wine is red. It is full of mixture, and he poureth out of the same. But the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth, shall wring them out and drink them. So you see, the Most High has a cup, and the dregs of it. I mean, the bittermost end of that cup. The most harshness, the most harshness of the of the of the judgments from the Heavenly Father, the most intense and horrible, horrific, painful judgments. The Most High is going to make the wicked wring it out, and drink them. So, and that's the so-called white race, because they're the most proud. Oh, thou most proud. The Most High is against them. The so-called white race, the Edomites, the grandchildren of Cain, the people upon whom the Most High placed that curse upon. Okay, and then so now, let's go to Job, chapter 21 and verse 26. Salaki. 26. They shall lie down alike in the dust, and the worm shall cover them. You see, and that's Isaiah 47:1. Come sit down in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. So that's the Most High. He set them up, and now he's going to knock them down into the dust. And those worms covering them means what? Death. Well, the Most High is going to knock the whore off her high horse, the whore America, the virgin daughter of Babylon. Babylon the great confusion, right? And the worms are going to cover them, they're going to their death. Verse 27. Behold, I know your thoughts and the devices which ye wrongfully imagine against me. So, and when Yahushua returns, and that's outlined in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, around the 30th verse on down, when I believe, and he's going to reveal the imaginations, the evil imaginations that they imagine against the Heavenly Father, and against Yahushua, right? And before they're gonna lay out the account. Yahushua's gonna lay out the account and charge them for their sins, and then judge them. The militaries that's going to be over there in the valley of Jehoshaphat, over there in the Euphrates River area in the so-called Middle East. Actually, it's Western Asia. But let's see. Verse 28. For ye say, where is the house of the prince, and where are the dwelling places of the wicked? Verse 29. Have ye not asked them that go by the way, and do ye not know their tokens, meaning their signs? Verse 30. That the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction, and that's the son of perdition, the so-called white man. That's the wicked. That the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction. They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath, and that's that that wine of the wrath, the wine of the wrath of the Heavenly Father. That the Most High is going to make them drink every bit of that wrath of that cup, even the very dregs of it. Right, the worst part of the judgments. So, it's about to be extremely horrible for the so-called white race, and it's unfolding right now before our very eyes. And they've been foolish, and just because they've been succeeding through their wickedness, they thought that they could just do that perpetually. But Ecclesiastes 8:11, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. And that's why, because the Most High didn't immediately judge them. And just like they, one of the main things that gives me, one of my biggest peeves, is that steak philosophy, saying that, eating a steak, right? They eat it bloody, and then they want to complain. They want to arrogantly say, well, it keeps it juicy, and if you cook it too long, it'll be dry. It's a way you can cook steak without it being bloody. Esau, he's just that bloody man, and he loved bloody food, right? Like it's like his forefather Esau wanted that bloody stew, that Jacob was cooking, and it wasn't completed. He was just in the process of starting it up. It was bloody, and he had to cook it through, right? But Esau wanted that bloody meal, and that's the same spirit. That's how you pinpoint who the nations are according to their characteristics as well. And Esau, he loves bloody meat, and they love bloody steaks, and even eating it raw. And you see videos they eating raw beef right out the package. On you see it's been seen clips online over the years. They love bloody meat because they're animals. And so they push that doctrine on Israelites, to make them think that, oh yeah, you're supposed to eat it like this, medium well and medium rare. It's undercooked. It's bloody. Most I said, eat not the blood, where therein is the life, right? And then people want to get mad at you for pointing out facts. Pointing out the lawfulness of the scriptures, the righteousness of the Heavenly Father Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai. So, and because the Most High don't immediately judge them, for it, they think it's okay. But now they're starting to realize that it's not okay. But their minds have been fully set to do evil because they've been thriving in wickedness, thinking that it's okay, and then they've been triumphing and glorying, right, being proud and arrogant. But their time of judgment is now. Psalm 75:10. All the horns of the wicked, that horns goes into power. All the powers of the wicked also will I cut off, from the whole America to the small hats, to even to the nation that the Heavenly Father is about to use to destroy the whole America, which are the Russians. All the horns of the wicked also will I cut off, but the power of the righteous shall be exalted through who? Yahweh Shai, through Yahweh's mercies and blessings. The horns of the righteous, the powers of the righteous, we're being elevated again. Lord willing, we have the number of the elect that escaped that second death of that fiery, that lake of fire. Deuteronomy 33 and verse 25. Thy shoes shall be iron and brass, and as thy days, so shall thy strength be. Be strong and have a mighty reign for eternity in the kingdom of heaven. Verse 26, there is none like unto the power of Jeshurun. That's a nickname for the Israelite, for Israel. Let's get it. I can't remember what that means, but it's an endearing term for the Heavenly Father has for us. Upright one, you see. So, and what makes us upright? The commandments, the covenants, the Most High blessed us with in the wilderness when Moses sprinkled that blood on us. So that's why we're the upright ones, not because of anything but the Heavenly Father's blessing. And you can read Ezekiel chapter 16 to read about how he cleansed us of our filth and made us clean and set us up and exalted us, with the great heritage and culture that he gave us over the heathen nations. So now let's see. Verse 26, there is none like unto the power of Jeshurun, who rideth upon the heaven and thy help. And that's going to the so-called UFOs, the chariots, the angels drive, and Yahushua, the Messiah, will be in the largest so-called UFO chariot when he returns, and in his excellency on the sky. So what's in the sky? Not the clouds, they're beautiful, but it's not talking about that. It's talking about the so-called UFOs, the chariots of the sky, the vehicles of the sky. Verse 27, the eternal power is thy refuge, Yahweh, right, in the name of Yahweh Shai. And underneath are the everlasting arms. That's a powerful thought right there, very powerful statement. And he shall thrust out the enemy from before thee. And that's going to those small hats that stole our land, claiming our identity, right? And all the heathen that's over there fighting over there for our land. That's our land, but heathen are fighting. Bastards are over there right now, and the heathen have taken our land for a season. And he shall thrust out the enemy from before thee, and shall say destroy them. So they're going to rebuild up, but they're going to go into captivity. The military is going to be destroyed. The Most High is going to beat their swords into pruning hooks, into plowshares for agriculture and farming. They shall learn war no more, and they're going to rebuild our nation over there, right? Going to have streets of gold and palaces of rubies, all kind of precious stones beyond our imagination, right? And then after that, Musa is going to kick them out and going to read Obadiah chapter 1 verse 18 to see the end of the wicked. All the other heathen nations going to get punished and get slapped around for a season, and serve their proper slavery. You know, what a man sows, he shall reap. The Most High is not mocked, right? And then they'll get set back in their own land, and then they'll be paying tribute for eternity to Yahweh Shai and the Israelites in the kingdom of heaven. So that's what's coming, because the day of Eve's punishment is at hand. So hope this video was edifying. To water to the Hakodash Bashem Yahweh Shai. Another video. To the next video I say, Shalom.